In other local news tonight, a man convicted of killing a married couple in Flagler County more than 30 years ago has been put to death.
The sentence of the state of Florida versus Louis Bernard Gaskin was carried out at 6:15 p.m. The execution took place without incident.
56-year-old Louis Gaskin was dubbed the Ninja Killer after the murders in 1989. News4Jax reporter Eric Avanier joins us live with details about everything leading up to the execution. Eric?
Prison officials say Louis Gaskin woke up just before 5 a.m. Then 3 hours later, he received his last meal, and then his sister visited him for the last time. And then shortly after 6 o'clock, he was put to death. After spending more than 30 years on Florida's death row, convicted murderer Louis Gaskin was executed by way of lethal injection. Freelance broadcast journalist John Koch has been witnessing state executions since the late 1980s. He witnessed Gaskin take his last breath.
This one played out pretty good. I mean, it was, what's routine mean? He quietly went to sleep and he died.
Can you tell us some of the last words he said?
Basically, he referred to his case that didn't go wrong. He said that basically it's not about the crime or the criminal, it's about the law. And then he asked, the last 4 words of his life was, look at my case.
Gaskin was convicted in the 1989 killing of Robert and Georgette Sternfels. The New Jersey couple that he shot to death were visiting their winter home in Flagler County. After killing the couple and stealing items from their house, Gaskin robbed another home and shot a man in the process. Fortunately, that victim was able to get to the hospital. Gaskin wore clothes that resembled clothing worn by Japanese mercenaries when he committed the crime, so he was nicknamed the Ninja Killer. Despite the couple he killed and the third person he tried to kill, an anti-death penalty group called Floridians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty protested his execution outside the prison.
We're not killing the same person that this was 30 years ago, and we're also killing the whole Louis Gaskin, who's mentally ill, who had a deprived and traumatic childhood, horrific childhood that you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy. He was sentenced to death by an all-white jury. His execution highlights so many of the problems with Florida's death penalty.
Now, it's also worth mentioning that none of the victims' relatives attended that execution. Reporting live, Eric Avanier, Channel 4, the local station.
Eric, thank you. Florida allows inmates slated to die to request a last meal. For his final meal, Gaskin had barbecue pork ribs, buffalo wings, pork and turkey neck, shrimp fried rice, French fries with honey barbecue sauce and water. To avoid extravagance, the last meal must cost no more than $40 and must be bought locally.
So YNW Melly, it looked like he get convicted, bruh. I ain't gonna hold you. He just gonna get there. Lethal injection. Exclusive, baby. YNW Melly judge just made it easier for the jury to give rapper a death sentence. A judge in a YNW Melly case has made it easier for the jury to sentence the rapper to death if he is convicted of killing his 2 former friends. On June 2nd, Broward Circuit Judge John Murphy sided with the state prosecutor's motion to follow a new statute that allows juries to recommend a death sentence. With an 8-4 vote, XXL confirmed with the Broward County District Attorney's Office on Monday, June the 5th. Previously, all 12 jurors had come to a unanimous decision on whether the death penalty should be levied. When does the YNW Melly trial start? YNW Melly's trial is expected to begin later this month. He will be one of the first people tried under the new rule, which was recently pushed through by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the wake of Parkland High School shooter Nicholas Cruz only getting a life sentence due to a split 9-3. A death penalty recommendation with an only 8-4 vote is the lowest threshold in the United States. YNW Melly has been awaiting for trial for 4 years. YNW Melly has been locked up in the Broward County Jail since his arrest on 2 counts of first-degree murder on February 13, 2019. The virtual Blue Balenciaga's rapper is accused of shooting and killing his friends YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser. In an incident that occurred on October 26, 2018, Melly-born Jamel Demons is accused of shooting Thomas and Williams in the backseat of a car. Men were driven around by YNW Bortland. Bortland is said to have driven the car with the dead bodies in it to Memorial Hospital in Miramar, Florida. where he told authorities the men were victims of a drive-by shooting. Melly pleaded not guilty in March of 2019 and has been denied bond. His trial date has been pushed back several times as both sides argue over the inclusion of evidence on whether the death penalty will be allowed. YNW Melly's prior death penalty rulings in April 2019, prosecutors announced they would be seeking the death penalty. The move was backed by the family of the victims. The death penalty was dropped in July of 2022, only to be proposed again 4 months later. Jury selection in the case began back in April. Opening statements are expected to start the week of June 20th. Now, Melly. This what he's looking at right here about this long. Per the Florida Department of Corrections, the average length of stay on death row is 13.22 years, with an average of 14.12 years between the offense and the execution. The most recent execution in Florida was that of Louis Gaskin, 56, who was executed by lethal injection on April 12, 2023. Known as the Ninja Killer, Gaskin was executed by lethal injection on April 12 for the 1989 double murder of Palm Coast couple Robert and Georgette Strumfields inside their home. If he did it, which the odds don't seem favorable to him, if he did it and get convicted and everything like that, Florida is very, very easy to get somebody a death penalty. Typically, when 2 bodies are involved, you're gone. And it was intent too. It's not like it was a heat of a moment or crime of passion or nothing like that. They're going for the full gusto of, hey, he's innocent and everything. You're supposed to. They didn't try to give a motive and try to prove a motive for murder, which, it depends on how you feel about it, might have been the better way. That's just my opinion, though. Y'all can differ. Y'all can differ. But, bruh, he get convicted, he's going to die. They going to give it, he going to be in there for about 15, maybe 14 years. Like they said, between 12 and 14. But his ass is grass if he gets convicted. Now, you obviously do your appeals and all that and everything, and then you see how that goes. But it's just crazy when it's just 2 bodies. For whatever reason, Florida is just weird like that. I won't even call it weird. Florida's just different like that when it comes to the power of 2. But y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Do you think he getting the death penalty? Did I lay it out so that y'all can understand it? I try to explain it to you like a 6-year-old. 2 bodies, lethal injection. 1 body, get life. Or depending on the severity or how heinous the crime is. But I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty. We haven't seen real facts. We're just merely going off speculations and conspiracy theories. So with that being said, I'd caution anybody. We can feel how we want to feel. I can understand people say, yeah, absolutely, his ass is done. And I can see people saying, absolutely not. He's not going to go to jail for this. If I'm a betting man, I ain't going to lie. It don't look good. Subscribe. Turn on that bell to stay notified. Share to keep your people aware. Let me know your thoughts on this one. All the other topics and everything like that, go check it out on the Clips channel. Who gonna be the bold 7K to piss off YouTube today? That'd be my question.
So you're half black, half Korean. Are you half black, half Korean, or?
No.
Oh, no.
Half Korean, half black.
Oh.
That's why my nickname is 전부대.
Oh.
Yeah! You understand now?
Same.
You're Korean and Korean. Stop it.
What's really hood when I'm through the hood? Nothing be said, we got it overstood. The team fed, yeah, it's really good. Put that on everything, bro, you're never good. What's really hood when I'm through the hood? Nothing be said, we got it overstood.